Do not adjust your sets. We are live. It is Thursday night, the first Thursday of February, 94 Feet of Life, first episode of the month. Remember, 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. Seen as the family, all capital letters, SCEN on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're watching this, you should be subscribed, like the Facebook, all that good stuff. Tag a friend, tell a friend. We got Trav in the building. We should be joined by we're not even going to call them guests. You know who they are. We should be joined by them. We talking all-star reserve announcement today. And then we really going to get into the heart of the matter. NBA trade deadlines a week away. And what do we think is going to happen? What's not going to happen? And we got some trades that have already been suggested. You know, if we suggest a trade, you don't have to check your trade machine for the salary cap. You don't need to check all the numbers are already fitting.
Man, y'all know what to do.
Trav, what's going on with you, man?
Man, just it's been kind of little snowy, little slick. A lot of people don't know how to handle these streets, so I stay my tail off these streets. So been doing that. But other than that, man, I'm just it's getting that time of the year. All-star break is coming. Reserves, starters out here. Get some reactions, like you said. Trade deadline is coming up. So, hey, man, I'm here for all the shenanigans because it is about that time. We're going to start jockeying for position in the playoffs. We'll talk about that a little later. But, hey, Big Shot, it's that time, man. Let's go.
All right, so let's talk about the all-star reserves because I really want to get into this trade deadline. So let's start with the all-star reserves. So the Eastern Conference, write this down, take your scratch paper out, as your auntie and your uncle used to say.
Hey, before you go, which side we gonna start on? We're gonna do the West or we're gonna do the East?
We're gonna do the East. So
what I want to do, I want to say my list first. And then you're gonna give the actual because
you proud?
I'm kind of proud of myself for what I did, especially on the East side. I'm really proud.
All right, go ahead.
So
give folks your
my list for the East. Let me pull this up. I'm talking about I put it down in my notes and everything. And I did this the day before. So my Eastern Conference list goes like this. And I hated to put his name, but he's been doing this thing. That was Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. I got Beard. I got Fred VanVleet. That was my third name. A lot of people didn't expect that, but I put his name down there. I picked Jason Tatum. I put Zach LaVine. I put my guy All City 87 on there. Chris Middleton. And then I put Darius Garland. That was my dark horse, but I put him on there as the seventh man of the East reserves.
So Trav is rolling sevens right now because that is who made the Eastern All-Star Reserve. All seven of those guys. What I liked about it was, number one, they didn't feel the need to force guys in that shouldn't been there. But like they didn't feel the need to force feed front court players. Now there was a couple deserving guys. I know Jared Allen was a guy who I know a lot of people thought, hey, maybe he has a shot. Jaylen Brown was a guy I know who people I had Jaylen Brown actually on my reserve on my list. But I have no issue with any of those seven guys. And you're rewarding guys not only who are playing good ball, but guys who are on teams that have either winning like usual or have had improved seasons. Darius Garland, I think, is the one that stands out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is not supposed to be here. And he is the key to that. I was glad to see him make it. VanVleet, I'm glad he made it because, being in Toronto, even though they were world champions 3 years ago, you can get kind of lost playing in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really, really good season. So VanVleet making it over like Jaylen Brown, I didn't have a problem with at all. But all 7 of your picks, which came fruition,
it was right. I was shocked.
I'm not upset with any of that. Now, Western Conference. Now, here's what I got. Technically, 7-7, but there was like an either-or situation. So, in the West, we had Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Paul, Draymond Green. The only one I was iffy on was it going to be Rudy Gobert? Was Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Jaren Jackson Jr. was who was going to be the odd man out.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that group, I don't really have any issues with it. Again, I think Devin Booker and Chris Paul, the Suns had to have 2 players. They've had too good a season to not have 2. And Chris Paul, I think, while the numbers don't jump out at you, if you just watch the games and what he does and how he just controls that situation.
He's a point guard, man. He's a point guard. He's a point guard, and he fits. The thing about Chris Paul, I mean, I'm not too much a fan of him. I respect what he does, but for that team, you need a guy like Chris Paul, young guys that can listen, but yet he has a person that he can listen to, and that is, I want to say he's the coach of the West.
Yeah,
Monty went, and Monty can talk to him the way he needs to talk to him as an older statesman. Yet he's the coach, and he's the one that gives it to him. They think alike, but he can tell him, "Hey, you may need to cool down some, or you need to pump it up." That way, that team is all on equal one accord. So I like Chris Paul, what he's doing at Phoenix right now. This seems like the perfect fit of young guys, yet you are the leader, yet you can do what you do, and you got young players that can do what they do.
Right. Draymond is always can be somewhat of a hot topic because he doesn't score big.
Right.
But if you watch Golden State play, and I have been a critic of Draymond offense, especially when Clay was gone and KD had left. I'm like, he got to look at the basket a bit more. But if you watch how they play, he is truly the pilot of that thing. Like, they run the offense through him. He might be the most, with maybe the exception of LeBron, he might be the most intelligent player in the league. He rebounds. He's a great passer. We know what he does as far as defense. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you just look at his numbers and say, oh, it's 8 points a game or whatever it is. Dre's an all-star.
So everything else he does, he knows how to. He makes that thing go, especially on the defensive end. On defensive end, he's the quarterback. He's the, in 08, how KG was the vocal leader of that defensive team of the Boston Celtics. He is that vocal leader of that Golden State team, especially on the defensive end. Big Shot, that Western Conference reserves, man. I got all the names except for Draymond, though. That was the thing. I actually left Draymond out.
Who'd you have?
It was a guy I picked last year as my rookie. Oh. I had him. I had Anthony Edwards.
You know,
Anthony Edwards.
Ant and Triple J were the only 2 guys were the next in line. I thought with those 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ant, the best post-game interview in the league, and is a killer.
Yes.
Minnesota is gonna be as we gonna get into this trade line, these trade deadline talk. We got one of, not we can call him a guest, another host dropping in the building. Minnesota's an interesting team because I think with Ant, D'Angelo, and Cat as a big three, so to speak, they're gonna be a team in a play-in situation that could be fun because they get up and down the floor, they play with great pace, they can score a lot of points. Minnesota and Charlotte are like the fun police, along with Memphis. Like those three, Minnesota, Memphis are like the most fun teams in the league right now. So, I had in the East. I thought Miles Bridges was deserving of a spot in the East. Again, I don't have really too much issue with that, but the coaches. I know our coach Les was talking to us in the group chat, and he's like, "Yeah, the coaches they got it right," and they did. There were no obvious like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna kick the table and for this guy." I thought all 14 reserves pretty much were right on.
Right. I mean, me personally, as far as those reserves, it's really three people I can say, like in my perspective, three people that I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing him on there. And that was and LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo's another one.
LaMelo Ball, Sabonis. Sabonis is one. And I had to go deep in my soul, and I had to put one of my own off in there. And DeJounte Murray is playing good. And I understand winners don't get sprinkles. We ain't won them, but like 18 games. I totally understand. But if he had been in there, I would have been happy. But those are kind of like my personal snubs. And of course, being that Anthony Edwards is not in, those were like my two East and my two West. That was kind of like snubs to me. But other than that, I think, well, I don't think they about 99.9% coaches got this right as far as the reserves this year. So, yep, that was mine. Seems like we got a little technical difficulties. MJ, you there?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Man, I don't know, but we just talking about reserve. I think my guy Big Shot then froze up on me, so we're gonna get him back on in just a moment. So, and we got another guest coming on, which is coming on. But hey, talk to us about your reserve list. And do you think they got it right? And maybe if it's a snub or somewhere. So
I don't think it's a snub. I think they got it as good as it's going to be. People got to understand that you're picking 24 of the players that you feel like is the best. Like as far as the starting five goes, because we really didn't talk about that. I mean, the fans voted it. If you mad as a fan that a certain guy got there, maybe you should exercise your right to vote more. I think it's unlimited. Maybe you should campaign for your player. There's plenty of things you could do to be able to contribute, to what you want to see. Now, as far as the coaches go, the coaches definitely got it right. But of course, there's going to be other players you can fit in because it's only 24 people. There's always going to be about 4 or 5 guys where you can make a case for. I would have personally loved to see Anthony Edwards in there. That's why I can't wait for the rookie sophomore game because I think he's going to go for 80.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's going to go for about 80, bro. He is not happy right now. I can't wait for them to interview him because that interview going to go crazy. Like, I'm just here for the rookie sophomore / G League game. I don't even know how it's going to go. Are they playing the 303 tournament? How is this working? Like, I don't even know. But I'm intrigued. I saw G League names. I'm like, what the hell going on here? Like, I don't care if they play piss out. I don't even care if they play piss out, bro. Like, just sign me up. They can check up for all I care with the reversible high school practice jerseys. They can do that for me. I don't even care. Be ready.
Right.
But nah, shouts out to DG to PG from Gary. Shouts out to him. Well deserved, young man. I told y'all he was Damian Lillard light when he came out. People didn't believe me because he came off an injury. So salute.
Yeah. The historian. What's going on, man?
Hey
Talk
man,
to us.
I'm fresh off a nap with this ice storm going on. It causes all type of havoc and madness around here. I woke up late. I'm just seeing the reserves. I got a trip because my man Trip ain't on the list. Jared Jackson Jr. deserves to be on the list. Now, I'm not gonna bug because unfortunately there's a few cats that might not make it, to the All-Star festivities. Donovan Mitchell may be one, just depending on how the concussion situation works out. There may be a spot where Tripp can slide in, but I got to speak up for Tripp though. Tripp been putting up like 20, 28 with like 3 or 4 blocks, and they winning. I mean, but he's a young dude. He gonna have time to get there. I'm glad to see my guy Fred VV get the roses that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine was getting a lot of votes from me as a starter before he got injured. He was getting a lot of votes from me. Mm-hmm. I think they got it right. Just across the board though. I can't really. I have no gripes. But then I'm like MJ. Like MJ said, you exercise your right to vote. They let you vote once a day on starters every 24 hours. You got to do like MTV used to say back in the 90s. You got to rock the vote.
Yep.
Big shot to find myself back on. Man.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about. Zoom me wild sometimes. I don't know.
Right.
So let's get to kind of the bulk of the discussion. Now, 7 days. It's like Tom Braxton, man, 7 whole days away from the trade deadline. Next Thursday, we will be sitting here. All the fax machines will be done spinning. All the things have been signed off. So we're going to definitely have MJ. Once MJ's in a safe spot, he can kind of settle because he has a couple trade suggestions. People that I was very intrigued with. So once he gets settled, he's we also got man somewhere in between Salt Lake and the Dakotas, worldwide somewhere in that mountain time zone. We're gonna have him jump on a little bit. So trade deadline. And I know some of the obviously the next has been on the block. He been on the block for about 7 months now. And that is, what is the resolution to what's going on in Philadelphia with Ben Simmons? So let's get that out the way because I don't want to tie up too much talk about, we don't like too much talking about players that ain't playing. But it's the elephant in the room for this next week. And Trav, I'm going to let you go first because I know you on this hand once he's able to get back in. Yes or no? Does he get moved in the next 7 days?
It don't even matter. He can get two men in the big truck and move all this stuff out of my league for all I care. That's where he can move to. I'm dead serious. That's where he can move to. Him, his newlywed fiance, whatever it is, he can move. Honestly, he want people to cater to him in this trade talk. Dude, you ain't that dude like that. You ain't got no catering. You ain't that caliber player to be catered to. You got to go to trials like everybody else, dog, to be honest. Man, I can tell the story of the NBA without mentioning Ben Simmons' name not one time.
Wow.
Hey, I wouldn't say it's the elephant in the room. I'll say it's the kangaroo in the room.
Oh my God.
It's the Joey.
He's a Joey, man. He's a Joey.
I I think Elton Brand's asking price is just too much for a guy that he's coming with a lot of baggage. And Elton Brand is asking for a lot for a guy that's coming with a lot of baggage. And I can't really I can't agree with it. I think what's the saying? Remove the Band-Aid. You know, Elton Brand, you'll get some picks, you'll get a decent player, but you're not going to get a top 15 caliber player unless you do a deal with the Nets. I think that's the only how, if the rumors are true about James Harden. I just can't see. I just think they need to remove themselves from the situation. Just sever ties as soon as possible. Get the best players you can get, and you just gotta move on from that.
MJ, what happens next? Is there a next?
Ben Simmons ain't going nowhere. They're not trading him, at least not the end of the season. I don't know if it's Elton Brand doing this or Daryl Morey pulling strings for Elton Brand to do this. I don't know who's the culprit at this point. But all I know is that the man has no inkling as to what Philly is doing right now. So he's really not worth the discussion, in my humble opinion. I mean, again, I wish him the best as a human being, but right now you ain't hooping, bro. So ain't nothing for us to talk about. And your feelings is just that, your feelings. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. Go to work or don't. That's where we at.
What do you really want to do? And I think I'm the one to question somebody's love of the game or whatever. But I think it's a legitimate question with him. Do you actually want to play? Because if I'm a team looking at trading for him, you ain't played in 7 months. I don't shape you in. I don't know what you found. So why would I bring him in when he still has this major flaw that will cost me a playoff series?
Well, what we have here is a basic lack of accountability. We got a dude who's been told he's been this good for this long. We pushing up on a decade now, to where this dude has been pretty much heralded as being one of those, if you will, one of those special ones, which he is, but he didn't live up to it. And he's not putting in the work. It's like, look, I can't even sugarcoat it no more. If Katino Mobley come out, a cat I know who be in the lab, he's 50 years old pushing. He's still out there. You know what I'm saying? So I know he putting in this work. If he say you ain't in the lab, you ain't in the lab. It shows in your game. Let's go back to playoff series. Your first playoff series. Big stage. This is why Philadelphia drafted you. On this stage, you were up there with Joel Embiid. Y'all doing y'all thing in the series with Boston. You scored 1 point in a pivotal game. You scored 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Come back the next year. You get in the conference semifinals. Kyle Lowry locks you up in game 7. You out in whatever you talking about how Joel didn't show up. Where were you? They couldn't find you. You were irrelevant. Nowhere. You were totally irrelevant. You 6'10". Every guy on this panel, if I tell you 6'10" and left-handed with ball skills, who comes to mind for y'all?
Odom.
Lamar Odom off top. That's what they thinking. Now, he ain't got to be Lamar Odom, but we know Lamar wasn't scared to put pressure on the defense. We know Lamar wasn't scared to shoot. We know Lamar would show up in those current situations. Was Lamar the superstar that people projected him to be? No. But he was a well-respected pro, well-respected veteran. He came to work. He's a FIBA World Cup gold medalist. He's a two-time NBA champion. He's got to work. And then we get Ben. The one that killed me, y'all, with Ben was when is he live in LA or whatever? So when the Sixers out in LA, he said that he's upset because nobody from the team or doctor stopped by to holler at him. Fool, they calling you. You ain't answering the phone. So if you're gonna act like a scoring woman, no disrespect to scoring women, if you're gonna act like a scoring human, you're gonna act like a scoring
Hey,
human,
quick
you're
question.
not gonna answer the phone. Go ahead.
No mean to stop the rant. We can't just brush past that. And is it good at any given point of anybody's life for somebody to pull up on you after they called you and didn't answer? Like, let's say just somebody that you actually want to see knew you was at a place, they hit you up, you didn't answer, and they just popped up on you. When has that ever been like, great, unless you got a gift or something, unless you got a car with a bow on it. Like, that's never been you telling me you want to get wooed? You want to come in on a pony?
Ben, you tripping, son. Just straight up tell you like East Coast cat, you bugging, son. But on top of that, then we saw the latest one. Shaq said he hit him up, and he didn't like what Shaq had to say either.
And hit him in the DMs.
Okay.
As the Philly guy say, young bull don't know what's going on. Young bull on some nuts.
I just
go ahead, Big Shot.
I don't agree with Shaq on a lot of things, but he's right in this case, because if Ben Simmons ends up sitting out this year, when it's time for this CBA, or I'm sure go through with a fine-tooth comb right now on that CBA, because this is gonna be the last time for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this is gonna be the absolute.
Boy, them contracts gonna be.
See, Ben, you messing up the money, Ben.
We talked about this before. What Ben is doing when they had that CBA meeting, boy, the players are not gonna have that much control this time.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Trev. He gotta get out of our league.
Yeah,
he hating on the money, just like Donald Sterling, bro. You hating on the money. They found a way. When you hating on the money, they can find a way to unseat you as an owner. You hating on the money right now, Ben. The players really whoop your ass.
Hey, and Australia has a pretty good professional basketball league, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
they live.
Yeah.
So we all saying no, he's not gonna get traded by next Thursday.
Who won it?
Nah.
Okay.
You can't sell a red car for the retail price. No, you can't.
There you go.
So now,
if you do say that you're a real hustler, you'll call.
Right. So now let's get to some trades that we think, some people that we think could really get moved. And then MJ had two blockbusters. And so MJ, I want to actually let you lead this part here. Tell the people about trade number one. So what we gonna do, y'all?
All right.
Drop the trade, and then we gonna say, Jaeger.
Now, I just want y'all to get y'all screen records ready, because y'all go get some memes off of Trav at J-Ham faces on some of these. I only got two.
It's only two.
Right, so here's the first one. All right. We gonna warm. It's a warm up. All right, so we got the Washington Wizards receiving Dennis Schroeder and Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal. Let me explain the thought process behind this.
Let him explain it, and then we're gonna
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both got over 30% usage rate. Let me explain it before we go yay and nay. This is my case for this. If you're going to move Jaylen Brown, because y'all saying it's not going to work, at least bring in somebody that Jason Tatum not only respects, but has a relationship with. Bradley Beal can do the same things Jaylen Brown do without the usage rate, without the ball. Marcus Smart is not really a true point guard. Bradley Beal is a playmaker enough to be able to get other people involved, in which you no longer now have to look for that true point guard to bring everything together. On Washington's end, Jaylen Brown gets what he really needs, talent around him, but you know he's the go-to guy so that he can have time to cook. Dennis Schroeder is also included because we have heard that Washington don't like Spencer Dinwiddie right now. So now you could buy him out, put him on the bench, do whatever you want to do, and let Dennis Schroeder go ahead and take over the reins, and you guys will still be a competitive team. All right, what y'all think?
I like it. Even you, of course, it had to be explained under the fact, just especially from the usage standpoint, which means you talk about just off the record a lot anyway. You can have a lot of it, but you have to have even just like in life, you have to have balance on the basketball floor. You have to have balance, and that does provide a bit more balance for for the Celtics in that regard. And the Wizards show, it may just be time to just call Wild a Coyote. Like I said the other day, you call Wild a Coyote, you get the hook up with the Acme Dynamite, you blow that piment up, you know what I'm saying, and you start fresh, just go from there. But I like it though.
I like it because if you're gonna break up, I am someone who is a really big believer together. Yes, it has been struggled. It has been struggled. I really like them together. But if you're going to break them up, that's what you break them up for. You break them up for Bradley Beal. You're not gonna break. You don't come to Brown and Tatum for 35 cents on a dollar. But for Bradley Beal, now we have a different conversation.
It makes you think now.
I think
I'm yay on that.
Yeah. I think you pulled the trigger. I think you pulled the trigger on that. What I'm wondering is Spencer Dinwiddie smarter than the organization?
He might be.
Because I don't know. Spencer Dinwiddie is a good ball player. But for some odd reason, he's the guy that always on the move. Does he have enough crypto to buy that team so they got to get rid of him? Something.
Whispers. No, whispers behind the scenes says that, Spencer Dinwiddie is the most confident NBA basketball player in the league. So take that statement as you will. In a league where all of these dudes pretty much believe in themselves, you got some future Hall of Famers. The word around town is Spencer Dinwiddie, not Russell Westbrook. Spencer Dinwiddie is the most confident player in the league.
We're gonna get Spencer is confident. He's two things that I could see getting on people's nerves real fast. Ultra confident and ultra intelligent.
Yeah.
And if you're the smartest guy in the room and you ain't afraid to tell people, I am the smartest guy in this room.
You become a heel.
You become a heel. So we yay on that one. All right. Hey, now this is the one. This is the one that y'all have to really listen and pay attention to real close. I heard this earlier and I had to think about it 3 times. So
that's what I said. That was the warm up to this. And it's Black History Month, so you'll understand what I mean when I say this. All right. So the Utah Jazz receive Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. Miami receives Donovan Mitchell. Now, let me talk about both sides on this one. Miami has never needed draft picks, high draft picks, to do what they're going to do. They'll pick a dude off of Summer League and turn him into a beast. So draft picks is not something that they are valuing for the most part. They do 3-hour practices, for Christ's sake. They'll get anybody good. If I go to Miami practice after I pass the weight thing, I might be able to put up 10 in the league, messing around. So them finding gems and finding talent to fit their system has never came from the draft anyway, or they never coveted draft picks like that. So that is expendable. Also, as of right now, you have Brooklyn. They're beaten up because KD is hurt, and that locker room is in shambles. You got Bucks. If I'm going to keep it a buck, that means I'm going to be Giannis. All they got is Giannis.
Bars.
Yeah, they'll get that next week. So if we're looking at Chicago is a very good feel-good story. But we know they're missing something. I don't know what it is. Maybe Patrick Williams, turn into Kawhi Part 2, but that's going to take time. And it ain't Jeremy Grant, so don't tell me about that Jeremy Grant, Patrick Williams short trade. I'll slap the hell out of you. So, looking at Miami, you get Donovan Mitchell on the team that got Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker to do the dirty work for you, and Kyle Lowry. And your other bench players, even though y'all don't know their names, they're going to come in and produce because they practice 3 hours a day. They are now the leading contenders. They're the team to beat with this move. Now let's look at Utah. Like I said, Black History Month. So we don't have to, let me just take the gloves off. Nobody liked Utah. The Utah fans don't really even like Utah. They ain't like them since Stockton. Why did they like them since Stockton? Let's just be real. They are yearning for a white superstar. Tyler Hero or Fitzgerald. Y'all just lost Joe Ingles to an ACL injury. He's on the other end of 30. He's past his prime and it's looking like. Duncan Robinson actually has a positive defensive efficiency rate, by the way, and can shoot the ball. They run Duke Styles offense. If you put those two in right now, they will still be a playoff contender because of their style of play. But let's be real. If you keep Donovan Mitchell there, unless Rudy Gobert turns into 2009 Dwight Howard, they ain't going nowhere. So you might as well give your fan base what they yearn for, which is a white boy that's going to average 25 a game, and Tyler Hero can do that in that offense, and another hometown favorite in Duncan Robinson. You guys can think on that.
Yay. I'm for it. Go. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm for it. I found the comedy in sending the cold white dudes to Utah, but it makes so much sense. It just does.
You know what? It's so right. It's so right. Hold up. It's so right that it's wrong.
Yeah, I know.
It's so right that it's wrong. Because here's the thing. What's gonna stop all of that? Miami has faith in one person that actually does the same thing as Donovan Mitchell, and I don't think he even played yet. That's Oladipo.
It's big, right?
That's why I included him in the trade.
They still got faith in dude. I don't think he even played but like 6 or 7 games for Miami since the 2 years he's been there. It's so right.
Yeah.
That I don't think I pull the trigger. Them, they're not gonna pull the trigger.
They're not gonna pull it.
That's what it is.
Now, do we all agree if that move was made hypothetically, there's not a team in the league that's going to screw with them? Do we all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Only reason you wouldn't do it.
Think about that team.
Yeah. The only reason you wouldn't do it for Miami. To what MJ, what you just alluded to. You look at the state of Brooklyn. You look at Chicago is beat up. I think Miami, as we were recording this, is 1 in the East. Is it? If you're Miami, are you saying, are we good enough as is to get out of the East?
Can Miami beat Phoenix or Golden State right now?
Can we be right? Which means, are we good enough?
They can.
We're all together as it is. Can we beat State of Phoenix?
Are we talking now, or are we talking
Right.
that potential trade?
Let's talk right now.
If we're talking now, they would give them a fight.
Give them a fight. Yeah.
They would give them a 6-game fight. Both teams. They cannot beat them.
Now, after the trade, Trav.
After the trade, they can beat them. Because Donovan Mitchell brings that dynamic. You got. They are a bunch of bullies. You still look at that. They are a bunch of bullies. Donovan is a bully at that guard spot. 6'2", 6'3". He's a bully.
It fits.
Kyle is a bully. Kyle can hang with CP3. Kyle can hang with. I mean, he can hang with Curry.
That trade
is about as good as you're gonna do it.
Jimmy Butler.
It does. No.
Don't get me started.
It does what we wanted to do. You move everybody down the roster.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of Jimmy Butler being the finisher at the end of the game, it's Donovan Mitchell.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you have Donovan, Jimmy, Kyle. You don't lose PJ Tucker, which is, you keep PJ. That's incredibly important.
Right.
Bam is important too.
Bam, crazy important.
Mm-hmm.
You got Twin off the bench with that other 4 and 7 footer that nobody knew about that got the nerve to be putting up double doubles.
Right.
Whoever, yeah.
It's Twin.
So they don't really lose their depth because you just don't know the names. The dude's gonna be ready to play.
Is Twin still hurt? Is Twin still sidelined right now?
I'm not sure. I know he's gonna be ready for the playoffs though.
But
yeah,
With the gamble of man, he'll be ready for playoffs.
Jokic put that
They make up
Whiplash,
6
boy.
players. So yeah, MJ, I like both of those trades. I'm with it. Yeah, yay on both.
Yeah.
So let me get
and
this.
The whole thing is,
let me get this right.
Go ahead.
So we got Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and did you say draft picks?
I said I said the first and the second, and Victor.
And Victor Oladipo. Okay.
Because Donovan is worth that. Let's be real. We can't shortchange for Donovan. We got.
I don't know how I forgot Philip. I'm just talking about. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
I like. Hey, 94 feet of light. We here to help you. GMs, call us.
That's it. Quinn Snyder run Duke office anyway. Duke office is made for shooters.
Only thing that I look at that deal is that it's like, man, Dwayne Wade ain't going for that. As a minority owner in the Jazz stake, Dwayne ain't going for that. Like, why am I sending me away from me?
Juice in there.
This is true, but it's like, why am I sending me?
Dwayne ain't got much juices I have, which was vodka in here too, by the way. That's how much juice Dwayne had. He got no juice. They did that to welcome making no decisions.
He's a token.
Shaq part owner in Sacramento, right? Do he claim them? No.
No.
He make no decisions.
I thought he sold them.
He sold them. Shaq sold his shares of.
That's probably why he ain't got no.
The point remains.
Sorry, we went off on a tangent. Sorry.
A player each. I'm gonna go around. Trav, start with you. Go Trav, then Ham. A bigger name player, don't have to be like a superstar, quote unquote, but that you would like to see trade next week.
John Wall. John Wall got to go. He got to get out of Houston.
Trav, should we just do Wall for Westbrook one more time just for the fun of it?
Just for the shenanigans for us, for the viewers. Yes.
Math works out. Straight up, the math works out.
For us.
By the way, the math worked out on those other two trades too.
We know.
I was watching some before you go.
Go ahead.
I was watching something, and it's this. I want to say, was that Vernon that I was listening to? He was talking about Houston came to Memphis, and then he said Russ for Wall back then. We said that about 5 months ago. We said that at the beginning of the season that
we
John
even
Wall
made
ain't
a
gonna play
deal when we thought Houston wouldn't want Westbrook back. We made a
Right.
3-team deal.
We said that
Westbrook
then.
to Sacramento and said they can have Fox.
Right. So I just wanted to get that out there for the viewers that see this, man. We ain't trying to say we prophets, but we got a crystal ball somewhere. We got some moles off in here too.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's
We
all
got
I'm
some- Ham, somebody you would like to see move by next week.
I made the same with Shane guy about a year or so ago around this time. Brad Beal deserves better. He just deserves better. I mean, as far as for what they got in Washington, I think that that's pretty much expired on his, for his end of it. They pretty much they got linked up with the Acme. You know what I'm saying? And they restructured a few things. And Trav took my original one with John Wall. It's like, we gotta get dude out of Screwtown, man. We gotta find somewhere for him to be able to hoop because they ain't gonna let him hoop there. But that former Wizard backcourt duo would be a joint answer for me.
I'm all for guys getting their shot at the big stage. So my guy to move is, and I think it didn't work with the two big fellas together in Indiana. I think DeMontis can help somebody. I think DeMontis is a great player who, as Tam called him, cheese toast. He just stuck in cheese toast.
Yeah.
But if I was the team,
and the Pacers are just like the Jazz. Put that out there.
He's right. He in cheese toast twice. He was Oklahoma City the first time, Indiana the second.
He goes to Utah. Them like 3 cheese toast teams.
Now, I will tell you this. We talk about Utah, which feels what MJ's talking about. That's the dude you want. If you want to go, we want Caucasian stars. That's the one you.
Yeah, that becomes the 4 cheese.
He can't play with Rudy. That's the problem. He can't play with Rudy. It'll be just like Miles Turner, but lighter because Rudy made a couple of All-Star games. Rudy is the All-Star game version of Miles Turner with no 3. So imagine that shit. So I got another guy. I have another guy. I don't know how they need to do this. Hey, I don't know how they need to do this. But hey, I don't know how they need to do this. But the money works if they can. I don't know how. Maybe give up a couple first-round picks or something for this dude because he don't cost that much. Really, just one first-round pick and a protected will do it. Put Mo Bamba in Brooklyn.
Only if Jern was.
He only making 2.3. He's only making 2.3. He's still on his rookie contract. When they lost Jared Allen, that is when they went downhill. They missed out on they dude that could protect the paint and could finish. And Mo Bamba could do both of those. And he got the audacity, the unmitigated gall to be able to hit 3-pointers.
He from
what the fuck am I missing here?
He from there too.
From New York too. Strange situation. Mo Bamba's a strange situation. Kind of a really confusing situation with why he does.
It ain't nothing to be confused about here in Orlando. Everything is confusing in Orlando Magic's organization.
Nothing like that.
I still don't know what's going on with Jonathan Isaac.
It's nothing like that unmitigated gall, though. You can't shake that one. Nothing like it. Not the gall, the unmitigated gall, y'all. Gotta make sure you put that in.
It might be the juice that Dwayne Wade like at Utah talking.
Now, let me ask y'all this question as a philosophy question. Right. Eastern Conference, there's almost no separation between like 4 and like 10. Like it's wild balance. If you a GM and your team is kind of close to a home court, but we could be in a play-in, do you feel like this year you should be a buyer or you should be a seller? Just as a general philosophy this year.
I mean, y'all windows ain't nothing but 3 to 5 years anyway. Play to win. Treat it like a spades game. Be a buyer.
Go ahead.
So I use this as an example for teams like Cleveland and Charlotte. Young.
Now, those are exceptions. I'll put asterisks next to them because they're not playing space. They're playing bid. It's a difference. They're calling their own trump. If they got about 5-7 hearts in their hand, they just go pull the kitty. I'll go around y'all head later. But nah, they not playing space. They playing bid with. But a team like Atlanta, yeah. A team like Atlanta, yeah, you playing space. Yeah, that window is only gonna be alone for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know John Collins trying to get up out of there.
Right. John, hey man, free John. Because John has really tried to get out of there for like 3 years.
He's been unhappy.
He is not,
unhappy.
He is not feeling the random 35-foot 3-pointer with the 18 seconds up on the shot clock. He's not feeling that. He's like, can I at least set the pick first?
Boy on some cardio. He's tired of cardio.
Hey, we used to call that Tom, Trav. Takeout man. Tom. They got him on Tom back then.
Yeah. Now, buyers, I want to get Jay Ham on this one because not the flavor of the month. Memphis, the young core, exciting, dark side, all that. As a Grizzly fan, Jay, are you saying hold? Or are you saying a couple of these young
the only way it's got to be something. It's got to be one of those scenarios that MJ put together that's gonna make it make sense, like he did in the perspective one for Gary Trent Jr. for Dylan Brooks. I like that one. Not that I would want to lose Dylan, but I understand the basketball philosophy within that one, and you kind of seeing a little bit of that. You're seeing a little bit of that come before you right now. This team went from 10-10, they 35-18 right now. That's kind of, like, and a lot of that has been without them. So it's one of those where it's like the crew that we got with your oldest dude is 28 years old, and that's Steven Adams. Your top 4 scorers are 26 and under, as my man Anthony Sane pointed out the other day. Shout out to him for having me on. Hey, I like the crew to just roll with it this year. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't touch it, but it would have to be something that's gonna like help you for real. You know what I'm saying? Like what MJ put with G Trent and Dylan Brooks, something of that caliber. Outside of that, I'm cool with the crew we got. Let's roll, dog.
Yeah.
But we're gonna need that depth. We're gonna need that depth coming out the West anyway. So let the boys get some good Mother's Day level experience, or just like what we were saying the other day on Sane's program. It could go great, and you could have this run that could take you to late May or to June, or you could be done by late April in the first round. It's that kind of
Hey man,
it's that kind of window.
hey man, but Jim Jackson's illegitimate son is doing wonders over there. You don't even need Gary Trent because of him.
This is true. This is true.
caught-
That's something I was thinking about as well, and I'm like, yo, I wasn't gonna say it at the beginning of the show, but man, he probably could have got a little all-star love too. But I understand his second year here, and it's a lot of guards out west. But he putting up like 18, 19 a night. He D'ing up, he doing his
He had
thing from the three-ball land. He'll be in the Ride the Stars
Yeah.
joint.
Jimmy
That's
Jackson
cool.
somewhere proud right now. Jimmy Jackson somewhere proud right now. Shouts out to Circle City.
I ain't put that kid on. That ain't me. Don't hold it against him.
Shouts out to Circle City Club. All I'm saying. Salute.
Salute. So there you have it, folks. We're gonna wrap up. We will be back here next Thursday night, probably at the same bad time, same bad channel, with the trade deadline review. We'll have our phones on all day, Woj bomb and Shams and everything else that goes. Right to face. If you're watching it, you should be definitely subscribed to the YouTube with your notifications is on. We'll be back next Thursday, trade deadline review. Big Shot, Trav, Ham, MJ, basketball for the people, by the people, signing out.